Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again, right? Collection update, you know how this works. Let's get into it. Okay, so, first things first, I picked this up right here. Crime Wave for the Sega Saturn. And can I just say, whoever sold me this, it's in a nice plastic case. There was bubble wrap inside. Okay, I don't usually give like good feedback on eBay because I'm buying so much shit from eBay. You always get that email. It's like, oh, please leave feedback. I'm like, piss off. I gave this person good feedback, alright? Because it's like, you want to encourage this shit, don't you? So, that's nice. The game itself, I think I was just looking up random Saturn exclusives, because I'd like to think I'm quite well up on them at this point. But apparently not, because I'd never heard of this game. It was published by Eidos. Who made this again? I want to say it was Core, actually, that made this. Core made a bunch of stuff for the Saturn. Yeah, I'm not too sure, actually, but... yeah, it looks like a slightly more 3D top-down Grand Theft Auto game. Quite interesting, quite interesting. So I haven't popped it in yet, but I will definitely sit down to give this a go at some point. And again, just like eBay sailors, take fucking notes, take fucking notes. Look, it's so shiny, you can see my OBS on my monitor. Alright, so there you go. Sweet. Right, one game that I have played but I don't own was Doom the Dark Ages, you know. Quite into Doom, like the series and that. I didn't really want to pay 70 quid for it though, so I had like a month of PC Game Pass sitting around since I got this like new PC, so I literally just like used it, downloaded Doom and played it in like 2 days, so cheers Microsoft. Broad game, very good. I think I liked it a bit more than Eternal. Not sure if I liked it more than Doom 2016, but it was good. But one of the things that you can do in that game is ride those dragons. And when I first got on the dragon, I thought of two games. One was like Panzer Dragoon Orta, or Panzer Dragoon in general, you know, mainly the bits where you would like free roam, or it was like semi. It never really gets like on rails necessarily, but you're like chasing down other dragons. It just looked like Panzer Dragoon, you know? And then there's those bits where you go like all the castles and you can like physically go down and stuff. And you know what game I immediately thought of that I'd never played before? Who remembers this? Lair for the PS3. Aye, this was like a big game for Sony back in the early days of the PS3. You used the 6-axis to like fly your fucking dragon about. Wasn't good, did not review well, and it kind of killed the developer, Factor 5. I think they made like the Rogue Squadron games for Star Wars on the GameCube. So a bit of an upsetting history to it, but I don't know. Like I said, it just popped. That just happens sometimes. Sometimes it just pops in your head. It's like, oh shit, that's I should go get that. So I did. Cool. Right. Next up, we have DC Superhero Girls Teen Power. Now, I saw this on, like, I think it was eBay, and it was, like, super cheap, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy that. But then I hesitated, because I realized, oh shit, if I buy that, I'm going to have to put it in a video and justify to people why I wanted to buy DC Superhero Girls Teen Power. Let's attempt to explain that. Well, first of all, fun fact, this game is actually published by Nintendo, and that's kind of like one of the things you hear about it a lot. It's like Nintendo put their name on this to, like, sell. So it's got that kind of like weird factor going for it as a collector. You're like, oh, I want to get all the Nintendo published games. You got to get this. But I've kind of said this a couple times before, guys. But I'm into DC. You know, I'm into like Superman, Batman, all that. And generally, I watch like a lot of like clips of stuff on YouTube. You know, because you get shit like that everywhere. You know, from films and such. And I kind of accidentally became kind of a fan of this cartoon. I don't know. It's a funny show. It's a funny show, okay? But, so when I saw the game, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go for it. And here's the depressing thing as well, though, guys. This is probably the best DC-related game we've had this generation, or especially in the past few years, you know? Because you have things like, you know, Gotham Knights, that kind of missed the mark. That didn't really review that well. Suicide Squad, like, the least said about that, the better. And Wonder Woman. That was bullshit. I don't know if I talked about that, but I was so upset when Wonder Woman got cancelled and like Monolith got shut down. It's like, how the fuck do you let that happen? That game could have been like amazing. I'm not really into those like Lord of the Rings, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor like games. I just didn't really play them. But I got like the appeal of them with the Nemesis system as that, and like that would have been perfect for Wonder Woman. You know, you can imagine like being on Themyscira and like you have to like face off against all these like Greek gods and shit, or incarnations of them and other like DC villains, and they would come back, and it's like that would have been amazing. Cancelled, gone forever. Fuck you, Warner Brothers. So yeah, I only played this. I only played it for like an hour or something. I don't know if I'm really gonna go back to it because even though it's probably the best one we got, it's still not that great. But it's here new anyway, right? Hopefully that justified me owning a game which is based on a cartoon for little girls. But there you go. Anyway. Alright, and next up, okay, last 3 games here. Okay, so I am still really enjoying the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Okay, I've been replaying like a load of things, but I still have this like thing in my brain that even though I play the game on the Switch, it's a convenient way to play an old game. Sometimes I'll just be like, no, I want to own that. Okay, I want to like have it physically, even though I'm on this subscription, I still want it. So these last 3 games were kind of inspired by that. Mario Golf. I've always meant to sit down and play some of these because they were made by Camelot. You know, the makers of like Golden Sun and before that the Shining series on Sega consoles. And yeah, you hear a decent amount about Mario Golf, but I don't know if I'll sit and play it for a clogged time or whatever. I just want to... Mind you, wasn't it... I think it was like the Game Boy version that had like the RPG mode to it. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if that's on this. I never actually checked. That might be on the Switch. I may actually try that because this also has like the OC characters that you can like name and shit, which I think carries over from that RPG aspect or whatever. But whatever. Interesting game. Interesting game anyway. Next is Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. I had to remind myself of the name there. I don't think this is even I'm not sure if this is even the game that's on the Switch Online, but I swear to God, okay, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to swear to God regardless, I had this game, or I knew somebody who had this game when I was a kid, because Joe and Mac, they're these 2 like caveman like guys, and it's a platformer set in like prehistoric stuff. It's made by like Data East, and it's all cartoony and shit. Every time I see it, I'm like, I know that. Like, that's nostalgic, but I can't... It's one of those things where I can't clock how it's nostalgic, so I picked that up anyway, so that's cool. And lastly, this isn't even technically on NSO yet, but I grabbed it regardless. Mario Smash Football, or Mario like Strikers to you silly Americans that have a gross misuse of the word football. But I only ever played the one on the Wii before. I can't even remember what that one was called. I remember I picked that one up because it was like the first Wii game, at least where I had access to, that had like online play. It had like a little blue Nintendo Wi-Fi thing on it. So that was kind of like why I went for it. It was kind of interesting. But yeah, a lot of people obviously really like this series. Apparently the new one on the Switch was a big disappointment. I don't know why it was a big disappointment, but it was. So, but yeah, this is coming to like Nintendo Switch Online on the Switch 2 exclusively, because the Switch 2 can handle GameCube games. Speaking of which, did you see that segue? There's probably a decent bit of video time left because Switch 2. There you go. Now you can see my Sonic Frontiers friggin' like background there. But yeah, got Switch 2, and I'm gonna spend the rest of this video just sitting here giving some first thoughts of the console. I'll say first of all, I didn't plan on getting it. You know, like that's kind of the attitude I have with a lot of like newer consoles. It's like, I don't need to get it right away. I'll wait, because I hate stressing about getting a new console. You know what I mean? Like the sort of like feeling of like, oh, I really want one, but am I going to be able to get one? Because you know, scalpers are a thing. You have to like sit at a website for ages to get the fucking thing in your car. It's just a pain in the arse. So I do not want to go through that. I just would rather wait. Okay. But what happened was I was like on Twitter and I just saw like an official Nintendo tweet saying like pre-orders are now live in the UK store, and the tweet was like 4 minutes old, and I'm just like, this was like a few weeks before launch. You know, pre-orders had already went live, but for whatever reason, I guess it was like delayed in the UK. I don't know why, but Nintendo had tweeted it. So I just saw that and I was like, fuck it. And I just logged in, got it in my cart, and paid for it, and that was it. It was a simple process. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to like stress about it. I just want to be able to like, clip, 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 clip. Your Switch 2 is on its way, and that's how I got it. So good there. Anyway, I don't even know if it's like super sold out, super scalped at the moment. Nintendo apparently said they were like dedicated to getting a lot of units out there, so they would be able to like combat the scalping and shit. But it wasn't difficult for me to get. I'll say that. I don't know if it's difficult now, but. So what do I think about it? I think it's quite nice, right? I love these Joy-Cons, alright? They click on with the magnets, right? That's just so satisfying, alright? You get that in the, like, the trailer, you know, the because in the Switch one it was obviously to slide on, now it's just like, that's so much better. It feels so much better as well. It's literally, I did a size comparison, it's literally the size between like a Switch 1 and a Steam Deck. And you kind of get like used to it right away. I thought to myself, oh man, the Switch already feels... It's funny how that works, because if I pick up my Switch 1 now I'm like, oh, this feels small, what the fuck? This is like what I'm used to now. What else to talk about? I got Mario Kart with it. Mario Kart, I've not played too much of it. I don't know what to feel about. See, the thing about Mario Kart, it's a game that you just instinctively get with the new Nintendo console, you know? I question if people out there even like Mario Kart, because it's just like, oh, new Nintendo console, yeah, get the Mario Kart, yeah, we'll get that. Obviously people like Mario Kart, I don't know why I fucking said that, but I'm not too big on Mario Kart, personally. But again, you just feel like you gotta have it. The open world thing, I don't see the appeal in it just yet. But maybe I'll get into it with more playtime. The game I've been playing primarily right now is Mario Odyssey, because that was one of the things I was most interested in. Right, how's the backwards compatibility going to work in that? And apparently it works really well, and I can confirm it works pretty well. You know, you have games that have like certain patches, like Mario Odyssey, and the resolution's like got a nice increase. It looks very nice now. But even games that don't have patches, that had like frame rate problems, like one of the ones I tested right away was Bayonetta 3. That was a game that was like infamous, where the Switch it was just put through the ringer to get to run on that fucking console, and it would have like frame rate dips constantly. And now it runs at a flawless 60 FPS, but it still has like the kind of blurry resolution. So now it's just like, it's still kind of apparent that it's barely surviving on the Switch hardware. It just runs at a consistent frame rate now, which is definitely nice to have, don't get me wrong. So I kind of want to do like a replay of Bayonetta 3, because I'm not sure, I felt a bit weird about that game. Like, I did like it, but I didn't like, I kind of finished it, didn't think about it again. Bayonetta is a Brawl series that I like a lot, so I'm going to replay Bayonetta 3 on the Switch 2. Also, one thing that has to be said, the GameCube games on here aren't really don't run that great. There's input lag. Okay, some people are been moaning about this, and it's there. Okay, and I am such a huge... I moan about this constantly. I annoy the fuck out of my friends when I go on about input latency, input lag. It's there. And my PC just thingied. Hopefully that's still recording. Okay, cool, thank you. Yeah, the input lag, it's there. It's unfortunate. Apparently it was there at the N64 at launch, but the N64 emulation has come like quite a good way since then, apparently. And, you know, I don't notice it anymore anyway, so again, hopefully they get that sorted. But yeah, other than that, really, I mean, the big one is going to be, the big game for me right now is going to be like Bonanza, Donkey Kong. That was the one that I was just like, that's got me. It looks so good. I want to get that game. It's coming out next month. Cannot wait. So yeah, that'll be a thing. But no, it's... like I said, it really is just like when you get a new phone. It's a bit bigger, it's a bit sleeker, it's a bit faster, you know, because everything about it is just so familiar. It doesn't really, it feels like a weird halfway point between like a brand new console and like some sort of like upgrade. You know what I mean? Even though it is technically 100% a new console, it's going to play like its own games and shit. But yeah, it's a weird feeling. It feels like I got a new console, but I didn't. I just upgraded my current Switch or something. But yeah. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else I really want to bring up with this? I don't think so. Not at the moment. I'm playing Mario Kart now. I'll get back to that in my own time, but yeah. Hopefully the Switch 2's got a bright future, all that pish. Yeah, there you go. I talked about the Switch 2. Anyway, guys, that's that. See you after. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.